Welcome, flyer friends, to a video on the side dump gondola that Flyer started making in 1950. So a bit of brief history here. My primary resource is Doyle's book, so for those of you that have studied this will be well known to you. The 719, right here is an example, started being produced in 1950. The Type 1 is an unpainted version that was made in a red plastic, and I do believe that's what this is right here. According to Doyle, this is a rarity of 6, so a little less common car, but not super rare. And then in 1951, they switched to a black plastic, which they painted. Here's an example of that, and the reason I know this is, if you look at this door, you can see that there's a scratch on it, and it's black underneath. There's also a few scrapes and scratches in the bed here. So again, this would be a painted black chassis. This would be painted Tuscan red. Doyle has this as having a rarity of 4, and these were made through 1954. Beginning in 1953, the link couplers were replaced with knuckle. And as was a common practice for Flyer, they replaced the 7 with the 9. So now we come forth with a 919 side dump gondola. Again, really the only difference being the change in couplers. But one interesting thing they did is they had some different labels on the side. And Doyle rates these both with a rarity of 4 or scarcity of 4, so fairly common. The Type 1, which I don't have any examples in all of these different cars, like apparently these are all the same, but the Type 1 here on the side, it said 38 cubic yards limit, and then it had 106,000 pounds. Lightweight was 50, or load weight was 58,100 pounds. And then the Type 2, which is what all these examples are, it says 30 cubic yard load limit for 100,000 pound load weight, with the load being 60,100 pounds. So you got to kind of squint out of your good eye to see this writing. It's pretty small, but that's how you determine which version you have. Between Type 1 and Type 2 of the 919. Then, just to keep things exciting, keep us on the edge of our seats, in 1957, a boxed set came out that still had the 919 on it, but it came out as a kit, included the trigger button, a bag of coal, a third rail trigger, and that was all in a box, and the box had a 5-digit number of 25008. So that's considered a special set for 1957. So Doyle doesn't really give any scarcity rating for the 1957 box set 25008. But then, between 1958 and 1960, there was a box set, again having the same items in it: the trigger button, the bag of coal, the side rail sliding pickup, all in one box. That had a box number of 25025, and that is what Doyle recognizes as a scarcity of 7. So that one's kind of hard to find. And then between 61 and 64, again the same thing, but now the box said 25060, and that one has a scarcity rating of 8. So that one's pretty hard to get your hands on. So I did a real quick search on eBay, and I did find a couple examples of 25025, and apparently they are gold because of how much the seller wants for them. And I found no examples of the 25060. So maybe some of you out there have that, but sounds like kind of a fun thing to collect if you're looking for a certain kind of flyer item to collect outside of what you do now. So how these work, again, there's a sliding outside third rail. I'm just going to go ahead and jumper that, and then there's a pickup wheel here, and you can see it just tips up, and then the door opens when it tips up. which it's a little hard to see that on this one because looks like somebody glued it. Huh, well, isn't that nice? All right, so anyhow, this door should drop down like on this one here. Look at this one. So this one drops down. One of the things that you'll find with these in these examples here, you can see what's going on is we've got this door that just kind of flops. And the way to adjust these is they've got screws here on the side and both ends. And so you can just kind of get those tilted to where they need to be and loosen them up. And then when they come back, tighten them back so that their range of travel is where you want it. And this is just something that kind of loosens up, so I don't quite have it right there. There we go. So pretty simple adjustment to make. This one's got some stuff growing on it. But kind of a fun car, and I can see why a bunch of these would be fun if you're modeling mountainous Colorado type scenes, because the narrow gauges in Colorado use this kind of car. They use gondolas pretty heavily for all kinds of things, including coal. So pretty neat. So the next thing I'm going to do here is this one. I tried to operate it and it didn't want to work, and so I thought, what's going on with that one? And so when I opened it, or tried to open it, I could kind of see, hey, we got a loose wire down here. Again, they're real simple, 2 wires. So what we're going to do is a simple repair here. So to get this top off, I'm going to go ahead and take the screw loose on this end. Try not to lose anything. And let's see, can we get away without taking the second screw off? Nope. Got to take this one off too. So there's a washer and a screw, and these screws are kind of funky looking. Wouldn't want to lose these. Good luck finding one if you do. So it's threaded, and then it's got a probably what would be considered a pivot point. So now that we've got the bed loose, we can get a better look at what's going on here. And in the middle we have our trusty solenoid with a plunger that comes up, and that's what hits up against the bottom of the bed, you can see here, and that's what pushes it up. And in this particular case, we have an example of a busted wire. Looks like there's going to be just enough extra length on this one, I hope. Ooh, maybe not. Once I turn the wheel, it looks like we run on length. So this is going to be a little bit more in-depth repair than I expected. I'm going to take this cover plate off and see if there's a way to maybe cut the existing wire off and add the length to it, or a new longer one, or if I have to do that kind of at the top. Okay, here's our solenoid. Plunger just fell out. So again, pretty simple operation. Got a screw here. That was for the plate. Oh, and I forgot about this gear. This gear here is on the side. It's just on one side that you have that gear, and that's what follows this teeth, and that's what causes the side to open or close. I don't know how well you can see that gear moving up and down, but kind of a cool operation that they've got going on here. All right, well, it looks like this is going to be a case where I splice wire, because I don't want to tear apart the lead that goes into the side of the solenoid. That to me is just asking for trouble. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the cameras, do the repair, and then when I bring it back, we'll see if it works or not. Okay, we're back off camera. I finished doing a jumper wire and soldering it all up, and I'm just going to tuck all that back underneath, put our bracket back on. I also off camera went ahead and tested it to make sure that it would work, and I didn't see that was a little little dirty. I'm going to clean that up real quick. Also went ahead and cleaned the car. Well, if it's just dirty, I of course got these very used and don't know their history, but they have had some use, no doubt about that. This is just a steel brush on the end of a rotary tool, just kind of removing a little bit of rust that's on here and a little bit of dirt, kind of clean it up. This is something no one will ever see until there's a wire loose in another 50 years or whatever. But I will sleep better at night knowing that's been done. I'm just kidding. Okay, there's that. Struggle is real, folks. So, not that this matters, but we had a storm come through the middle of the night last night, and it was extremely scary. Tornado warnings for a huge part of the local area. Winds were atrocious, and so in the middle of the night, can't sleep. Actually never got to sleep because I knew the storm's coming and the tornado sirens are going off, blah blah blah. So I basically had almost no sleep last night. So what do you do when you work and you've had no sleep? You turn to addictions, and my drug of choice is caffeine. So hence the jitteriness. I'm not usually that jittery, but well, I am today. Okay, so let's make sure that we're getting these things put back together right. That one is missing. Washer, that one, okay. So it looks like the silver washer goes on this end without the gear. Washer is a tight fit, and it doesn't want to let the screw go past it here. Okay. Then on the other end, we have this locking washer, the gear, assembly. Oh, wow. How does one go about doing this when you've got a handle in the way? Well, I'm going to remove the handle. Maybe. Wow. That was made to stay. Ay, 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 ay. sure my wires and everything are out of the way. Not sure why this doesn't want to go all the way down. I wonder if I've got the gear placement wrong. That one doesn't have a gear on it. That one's got it 3 o'clock. Got it lower. That one's got it about 3 o'clock. So position wise, it seems to be about right. But yet, it's not going flat. Why is it not going flat? It's got to be an adjustment. Okay, let's see what happens if I loosen this up. Nothing. It's got to be this end then. Ah, there we go. Okay, so hopefully you've seen what I did there. I messed with this gear with the side dumped down until I got it to kind of close, because we're getting hung up on the coupler there. What am I getting hung up on? Interesting, something's hanging up here and I don't know what. Some dirt come out of there. Thought I had everything cleaned. Put a little dab of CRC in here. Using CRC because it kind of evaporates, so it's not going to leave a oily goop. It's still not wanting to move very well. Getting hung up on that ladder? Nope. Alright, well, let's see if getting some use helps it loosen up a little bit more. And so now, after I get this ladder or safety bar back in place, we'll go over to the layout and have a little fun.